Hello everyone, you're watching another episode of Military TV. Today we want to discuss why is the Strait of Bosphorus so important to the world's economy and military. A scenic edge of water cutting across the city of Istanbul that separates the two continents of Asia and Europe, while conjoining the East and the West. The Bosphorus, or the Strait of Istanbul, is an internationally significant waterway located in northwestern Turkey. It links the European part of the city with the Asian part of it, remaining as an economically important waterway in the region. The Strait of Istanbul holds the record as the world's narrowest strait used for navigation by connecting the Black Sea through the Dardanelles Strait with the Mediterranean Sea. For centuries, this narrow strait played a major role in both the economy and military because each year more than 4,800 vessels are transiting, making it one of the busiest maritime gateways. An extremely fast water current that flows from north to south and subsurface currents cause swirls and eddies that bring additional difficulties to anyone who is passing through. Bosphorus is one of the world's economically most important checkpoints for maritime transit because of oil. Because around 38% of Russia's maritime crude oil exports are benefited from the strait. The strait is also the primary oil export route for Eurasian countries such as Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan. It is estimated that more than 3% of the global oil supply, or around 3 million barrels of oil per day, 20 million tons per year of petroleum products, pass through this iconic waterway. When it comes to the dimensions, the Bosporus Strait is 30 kilometers long, with a maximum width being 3.7 kilometers at the northern entrance and a minimum width of 750 meters between two Ottoman-era forts, Rumeli and Andaluhisari, while the depths of the strait range from 36 meters to 124 meters midstream. Bosporus Strait just won't stop being one of the busiest commercial straits. It is also a very heavy fishing region. This is due to its natural setup, where two seas meet each other. In other words, the Black Sea meets the Mediterranean Sea, causing unique ocean currents and temperature difference in water, which attracts a large number of fish species, contributing to the economy of the region. The economy of the Bosphorus Strait is not limited to the maritime activities. 3 suspension bridges, 5 July Martyrs Bridge, Yavuz Sultan Selim Bridge, and Fatih Sultan Mehmet Bridge shuttle the traffic between two continents, connecting a vast network of roads which contribute to a significant movement of goods in and out of Turkey. Furthermore, the Bosphorus Strait also contains 2 tunnels. The Marmara Tunnel, which is 13.6 kilometers long and runs 60 meters below sea level, and the Eurasian Tunnel, which is 14.5 kilometers long and runs 106 meters below sea level, also pass through it, accomplishing millions of trade activities across the continent. Aside from the commercial and fishing side, the military importance of the Bosphorus Strait was recognized for centuries. Many rulers and vast empires, starting from the ancient Greeks, used the waterway to import grains, while the Romans made their capital around the Bosphorus. Then came the Ottomans, who used the strait to expand their regional ambitions and control the entire Black Sea. Even after that, control of Bosphorus has remained in the bone of contention and crucial wars were fought over it. In 1920, the Treaty of Sèvres demilitarized the Strait of Bosphorus and Dardanelles Strait, making them international waters. The treaty was annulled during the Turkish War on Independence, and 3 years later the strait was handed over to an international commission. But it was only in 1936 that the ownership of the strait was given to Turkey. When the Montreux Convention regarding the regime of the strait was signed, decades later, access to the strait is still controlled by this convention. It gives free passage to all civilian vessels during peacetime. Warships from the Black Sea region also can pass through the strait with prior notice, but they can be blocked if Turkey is under the threat in times of war. Apart from Turkey, Bosphorus is crucial for the Black Sea countries. For Russia, it's their first access leading to the Mediterranean Sea, and only warm water exit available for them. This makes the strait important to Russia's commercial interest as well as military ones.
3 Russian warships have sailed through the Bosporus Strait on their way to the East Mediterranean.
Russian warships like these have become regular sightings on the Bosphorus as it increased operations in Syria. Especially when it comes to the Turkish invasion of Syria, the movement of the Russian military across the Bosporus Strait increased in an exemplary manner. For example, only in 2017, more than 53,000 military vessels passed through the strait. On the 28th of February 2020, Reuters' analysis and monitoring of shipping in the Bosporus Strait states that the Admiral Grigorovich and Admiral Makarov frigates sailed for Syria, but 3 other warships have followed unannounced. One is the Orsk, a landing ship capable of carrying 20 tanks, 50 trucks, or 45 armor personnel carriers, and up to 400 troops. The others are the Novocherkassk and the Caesar Kunikov, which are also landing ships that can carry over 300 troops, tanks, and armor. According to the Russian newspaper, the Turkish are on the verge of closing the Bosphorus for Russian battleships if there is future resupply of weapons and ammunition for the Syrian Kurdish fighters. If the borders are closed, it will be a diplomatic condition between Russia and Turkey, hence there are 2 Russian military bases at Tartus and Kamamim which are being highly affected due to low reinforcements of necessary logistics. In short, it is a strait that keeps countries in peace or war, a strait that decides the rise and fall of the economy. The importance of the Bosphorus Strait never fades away. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the video.